Is the tank back on? The tank was off for a while. Is the tank back on? The Blazers were in Denver last night, the second game of their road trip. By the way, there is a Jokic highlight that I have probably watched on loop 1,000 times at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It happened in the first quarter with 5 minutes to go. The Blazers were down by 10. The Nuggets had 4 seconds left on the shot clock. They inbound the ball to Jokic. He catches it in the corner with Deandre Ayton guarding him. Kind of looks around, realizes there's only a couple of seconds left. He's like, dude, I don't feel like doing anything. This is going to take too much effort. Somehow, standing in the corner with Ayton guarding him, has enough room to take a dribble, lean back a little bit, and just throws a shot up over his head as the shot clock expires and drain a corner three.
Well, the thing about him that's interesting is he's fat, doughy, slow.
Yes, all of those things.
And shoots exactly like Larry Bird.
Yes.
And probably, if we're just being in the trust tree, is the greatest offensive player we've ever seen in our lives. But we can't say that out loud because it doesn't make any sense to our brains.
We definitely did not say that out loud. He was so good last night. The Blazers fell.
He's unbelievable.
146 and 117. Jokic killed him. Jokic kills everybody.
He's a walking triple-double on any given night.
40 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 15 of 22 from the floor for Jokic. He was dominant. 5 of those misses, by the way, came from 3. The big story, though, of the night was not that the Blazers lost or that Jokic was good, because neither of those things were a very big surprise. The big story of the night was that Deandre Ayton went down with a non-contact injury,
which
which
looked bad.
Did not look good, Bob. It did not look good. He had to get helped off the floor. They have not made a comment on it after the game or this morning. Everybody's awaiting on the same news. Ended up playing 19 minutes. Klingon came in, and he went 8 of 8 from the floor. He played 21 minutes, so we got to check on him to see if he collapsed because I didn't think he could play 20 minutes tonight. He got to 21. He had 21 points and 7 rebounds, so there's your positive. But
probably his best game as a pro?
Without a doubt, his best game as a pro. That was the only irony. Not that you don't ever root for guys to get hurt. I got nothing. Whatever. DeAndre Ayton's fine. Him coming in immediately, those first 2 next possessions, as they're showing like the highlight of DeAndre Ayton getting walked off the floor.
Yes.
And they went down to Klingon, first possession, bucket. And then it was, I think somebody drove it and kicked it to him, bucket. And you're like, all right. So at least we get to watch Donovan Klingon play basketball now.
He did play 21 minutes.
He did. He got to 21.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Check his pulse.
He's got an off day, so he can recover.
See if he's still alive, still breathing.
Look, I'll say this. DA has played certainly a lot better in their recent hot streak before they've run into a couple.
He's been really good, man. I'm critical of him, and the contract isn't great. He's been really good the last couple of weeks.
He's at least playing like somebody that cares.
Yeah.
And Channing Frye noted that a couple weeks back of like, there's a guy out there that doesn't look like he cares at all. And this dude, and I don't go to games. It's like impossible for me to go to games. I'm not reporting this in any way. I feel like I can correlate this turnaround prior to this injury. He kind of feels like he's reacting to Scoot's turnaround. And maybe I'm just like, I'm reaching for more Scoot positive stuff here.
Scoot, who also got hurt last night, by the way.
I tweaked his ankle at the end when they were
that
down
one didn't
30.
seem too serious, but
well, we hope not. We got no update in the postgame from Chauncey on that. But there's something about the way that Scoot has been playing in this turnaround, and I don't know why, but it feels like he's developed a real rapport with DA, and he goes to DA in a lot of spots. So maybe I'm reaching and I'm looking for some overarching Scoot positivity that doesn't exist, but I do feel like his turnaround kind of goes with right around when Scoot kind of started getting this going. Good to see Klingon get some minutes. I actually enjoyed this, not the 30-point loss part. Tamani and Jamal Murray almost fought like 4 different times.
They did.
And I will continue to say Tamani's a great development story. He's obviously a great piece to have. He's morphing into a dog defensively and a dog like barking. And I love that we have that player.
Yeah.
Because that's not Shaden. I don't think that's Scoot. Klingon is still kind of working his way into playing more and more minutes as his career goes on. Tumani is that dude now. And I loved seeing him kind of go back and forth. Now, Murray got the best of him in a couple possessions and let him know about it, but I loved it. I loved seeing some barking, some back and forth. They lost by 30. They didn't play great. The tank is probably on because of injuries now.
Yeah, Grant's out. We don't know how long.
Well, that's a good thing. But
that is, yeah.
Well, not a good thing he's hurt, but it's a good thing he's not playing because he was bad against Minnesota.
Rob Williams got hurt the other night, and now Ayton goes down.
The DA one, it looked like a calf, but then the way he walked off, it made me like wonder aloud, is the Achilles involved here? Like, it just didn't look good.
No.
So no surprise they ended up losing the way they lost.
I think it's a big one to keep an eye on. You obviously hope for the best with the injury news on that front, because I will go back to the bigger picture, as I always do with the Blazers. If there's one selling point, I don't even know if I want to call it that, but one angle that you could go down of not trading the veterans yet is that one of the guys, Deandre Ayton's on an expiring contract next year. 25-26 is the last year.
I think Ant is too.
And Ant is too. Yeah. And so that's the one thing that I think they would try and argue internally is like, well, we couldn't find a deal for him now, but an expiring contract can carry some weight because it's $35 million. You flip it with somebody and blah, blah, they get it off their books. If this ends up being a serious injury, I don't know what that future looks like. So I had the same thought of like, if that's an Achilles and he's out for a calendar year.
Yeah, but if there's a team that needs to bail and it's an expiring,
can you trade a guy who's suffering through an Achilles injury?
We don't.
I don't know. I'm just
asking
asking
a
the
calf
question.
strain that
Could
just
very well
hurt a
could.
lot. Like, we have no idea what that injury was.
Non-contact and not being able to put any weight on your leg is an encouraging sign. So you're right, though. We don't know what the long-term look of it is. The Blazers did lose. Not a surprise. Denver's a good team. Jokic went off. They got stars who were out of the lineup. Hopefully Scoot's going to be okay. And if you're looking for a silver lining in the meantime, it's that Donovan Clingan should get more serious run now, I would imagine, and the runway should be there. We saw Scoot back in the starting lineup because Jeremy Grant was out. And Clingan, I would imagine, starts the next game.
Has to be. Yeah.
He should.
You don't have any other.
I don't expect
maybe
Robert
Duop
Williams
Reef
or
plays a little
Ayton
bit,
to be
but
there. So.
No, I imagine Duop might see minutes if they don't
He'll have
Williams.
to see minutes.
He's going to have to as a backup big.
Clingan's not playing 36.
No.
So.
Can we get him to 25? Is 25 acceptable? Is that a reasonable number?
Probably maxed out last night.
21? That's all we got.
Sauces.
22. He's done.
Well, when Grant sits, Scoot starts.
Scoot does. He's back in the starting lineup now.
Got very frustrated seeing again the stats of his numbers, and I'm just like, cool, I'm glad this is on the bench. By the way, earlier from our conversation about throwing finals parties, the way we throw Super Bowl parties,
yeah.
One of our listeners says, if Boston makes the finals, I'm showing up to the party as Paul Pierce in a wheelchair with skid mark shorts.
Awesome.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes to have a finals party. Maybe make it a costume party. Your favorite
half-empty pot of
That is
Boston baked
delightful.
beans right there.
Well, like, who's
That
the
is
most
delightful.
random jersey you could wear? Like Robert Parrish in a Bulls uniform?
Greg Kite.
Yeah. Of like a finals contending teams. Because it would have to be.
Seasting.
No, you have to dress as a random NBA Finals player.
What's I'm saying? Like, does it have to be of a team who's
Aaron
in the
McKee?
finals? Trying
Yeah,
to
I
think.
think
No,
could
it
be
can
one
be
of the
somebody in
Just
any
random?
It's a costume party, so it can
Anybody
be
randomly?
It can be a former
Eric Snow.
Eric Snow.
Eric Snow. Dude, I loved Eric Snow. Eric Snow.
I could
Todd
do this
McCullough.
all day.
Oh. It's like this is one of those memes that floats around. What do guys do in their spare time? They just sit around and name random athletes. Hey, name a random second baseman. All right, there you go. There's 30 minutes for you. So their Blazers lose last night. No shocker. Their next game is, against Denver. We'll see if the next one goes better, and Clingan is get a chance against Jokic. And that should at least be fun to watch.